Hello YouTube, Wander's Demise coming at you here with my very first YouTube video. Now today I'm going to be doing a deck profile, but before we get into this list, I want to give a couple of big shoutouts. First off to my friend and aspiring YouTuber over at Drac Nation. He's one of the big reasons why I'm here today doing this. He's one of the guys who helped me get this all going, who helped me learn the basics of YouTube and basically get me where I am today. And then shoutouts to Jamie the Kid 00 for being one of my big inspirations for doing these videos. Thank you. And also he gave me tons of good advice, so that's also there too. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get into the list. Today I'll be profiling Geargias. I love this deck. There's not much more to say about it. It's super consistent. It can explode basically whenever it wants to. I love this deck. Anyway, let's get on into the profile if I'm not gonna send my cards flying everywhere. Alright, first off, 3 armor. 3 Geargia armor. I love this card so much. This card, it's the searcher of the deck. It gets off so many plays. And getting into this first turn, I love this deck. It's such a good card. Setting this first turn along with like a Geargia gear, it's game right then and there. It's a great card. Then next up, we play 3 copies of Geargia Arsenal. This card, I've seen a lot of people cut this down to 2, and I honestly, I'm going to move my cards down here. I don't understand why you would do that. This card is literally just a free armor. If you can't get to this as fast as you can, you want to get to this as fast as you can. This is your free searcher. It does so many good things. It's really helpful in the Gear Gigant X float play, which I will show you later in the video. But it's just a good card. It's a really great card. I'm gonna go ahead and set this off to the side here so I can show you the play. Then next up, 3 copies of Geargia Accelerator. And yes, I know I only have 1 super, sadly. It is not very good, but I love the super. I love it a lot. Anyway, this card brings all the speed to your plays. Without this card, this deck wouldn't be nearly as good, nearly as fast. It's so good. Just as long as you have a Geargia on the field, you can drop this and just make a rank 4. It's a great card. Love this card. Also need that for the float play. Next, for our level 3s, we play 3 copies of Mark II and the 1 Mark I. These guys are so good. If you want the best way to make any rank 3 play, it's between Crane and Geargia Mark II. This card is literally a free rank 3 of pretty much any of your choice. Obviously not certain ones, but being able to drop this and then drop it like an Ono or a Mark II again on top of it, it's first turn Zen mains if you don't draw your armor plays. It's got Soul of Silver Mountain, Ghost Trick Alucard. It's a great card. Then we play 2 more one-ofs. Before we get to those, actually, I want to talk about this card. This card is so dead in hand. This card, if you draw it, it's the worst thing on the planet. I really wish I wouldn't have to play this card. But, unfortunately, for Geargia Gear to come alive and for the Gear Gigant X float play, this card needs to be here, which is sad, to say the least. Then we play a couple one-offs in the form of 1 Trap Tricks Mermello, because searching out Bottomless is cool. Then 1 Max C. I don't like playing 3 of this. It clogs so badly at 3. This card, you don't want to play it at more than 1. I really like it at 1. 1's a good number. I'm going to set this one aside. brings us to the end of our monsters at about 15, I think. Have to recount later, but that sounds about right. On to the spells. Play 4 spells, because I believe you only need 4. 3 MST, because MST is MST. Takes out back row. What more could you want in life? And then 1 Book of Moon. Gets around so much stuff. I don't like maining Dark Hole in this simply because Dark Hole in your armor is not the best play on Earth. But against spammy decks, I do side it because you will run into situations where you need it. But for the most part, this takes care of what it needs to do. This takes care of so much stuff. It gets you over so many problems. It's great. On to the traps. We play a thick stack of traps. See that? I think there are about 21 in here. They make up more than half the deck. And I think they're all worthwhile. I think you need them all. Just my opinion. Cut whatever you want. Add whatever you want. I like this list so far. There might be a couple changes I want to make, but I like this list. Start off, 3 copies of Geargia gear. This free pluses. Aren't they great? If you have an armor set down and you have this set down, you flip this up during your opponent's end phase, then you flip your armor up, it's game. This card brings so many of your combos to life. It's such a great card. Next up, we have the 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. I love this card. I think it is the best trap you can play. I don't understand why people are trying to play Breakthrough over this. It's not as good. This card is a complete stopper to any monster effect that activates on the field. It's just, I mean, sure, Breakthrough gets over Arsenal and Card, but Fiendish gets over what it needs to get over, and it stops it from attacking. So Fiendish is better. It's just better in my opinion. Then we play 2 copies of Needle Sealing. I've been meaning to test this for quite some time. I'm going to a locals tomorrow, so I will be trying this out at my locals tomorrow, seeing how it goes. I'll have a better deck profile, probably more, I don't know, professional as you could call it, where I'll be able to tell you how exactly these cards worked. But for now, this is what I'm going to try and play. We'll see how it goes. Next, 2 copies of Mirror Force. Because Mirror Force is Mirror Force. Just eliminate your opponent's side of the field. Why not play this? 2D Prison. Get over the hands, get over the lens. I hate the hands so much. I hate that they had to make those a thing. They're just so bad. Not bad, just so... I hate how you have to play hands to be able to play any deck competitively anymore. It's no fun. This card helps so much getting over the hands, though. It is so great. I love this card for getting over the hands. We play a ton of one-ofs in form of 1 Trap Stun. This should be a Wiretap, but unfortunately I do not have a second one. 1 Wiretap. 1 Call of the Haunted. 1 Black Horn of Heaven. I might bump this up to 2. I'm really liking this card at the moment. I might bump this up to 2. I'm testing 1 Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. Again, I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow at the locals. But we'll test it. I think it's a great card. I mean, what card do you special summon and not have it use its effect that turn? Not very many. This card it's sublime, to say the least. Then we play the 1 Compulse, the 1 Bottomless, the 1 Torrential, and the 1 Solemn Warning. Because you need to. And that's it for the main deck. On to the extra. Start off, we play the obvious 3 Geargia X. In pure Geargias, you have to play 3 of these. This guy He's your go-to guy. You make this guy so much. He's great searcher, good beater. He's just what you want to get to. He's a great card. I love him. Then next up, we play one Steel Swarm Roach. I might cut this for a Dweller, but I like Roach. Roach is a nice card to have. Even though it's not too great against the meta, I don't know. Roach is a good card to have. One Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. Wipe the field. Why not play this? It's Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. One number 101 Silent Honor Arc. Probably the most trollsy card on the planet. One Maystroke the Symphony Djinn. One Black Ship of Corn. One Heartland Draco, number 82. One Gagaka Cowboy. One Diamond Direwolf, because you need to play this card. This card, I can't tell you how many times I've used this card and it saved my life. This card is destruction. This card is what you need to get over so many things. This card along with Exciton Knight. Hate having to play Exciton Knight for it to be competitive. It seems unfair that you just drop the Exciton, nuke the field, completely change the game, but you have to play it, unfortunately. Diamond Dire, I don't think it's nearly as OP, and it's a great card. I don't see why you wouldn't play it. And then, of course, the one Daigusto Emerald to reset your Geargia gears. Then we play 3 rank 3s. 3 rank 3s. Aren't I funny? In the form of one Ghost Rick Alucard, one Soul of Silver Mountain, and one Wind-Up Sedmains. I love this card so much. This card is so broken. This card gets over so many things. It's probably my favorite rank 3, maybe even favorite Ixies overall. It's just great. And before we get into the side deck here, I'm going to show you the Gigant Float play. So what you need, these 2 cards in hand, and this should be in your deck. So basically, here's what the play. Go Arsenal, tribute the Arsenal, grab the Ono out of your deck, tribute the Ono, grab back, set Arsenal, special this, seize these, Gigant, and detach and grab the Accelerator back. Now say this dies, you run into a Mirror Force, Deprison, whatever. This effect will go ahead and grab you back Ono. Geargia effect, grab you back Arsenal, special this, go into another Gigant or another rank 4, you know, whatever the situation permits at that time. It's a pretty good floater. I think it's good. I think it's a good float. And then onto the side deck. There are probably a few things I would change about this. This isn't my favorite list at the moment for side, but you know, it works. For what it does well. So let's get on to the list. Where's my other Fossil Dyna? Where have you gone, Fossil Dyna? Sorry about that. Lost my Fossil Dyna for a second. Can't have that, can we? Alright. 2 copies of Fossil Dyna. People ram into this thinking it's an armor so often. Just kick the tripod here, sorry about that. They just... it's so funny when they smash into they go off and smash into this thinking it's an armor. You flip this, they just like... They rage quit all over the place. This card is funny. I love this card so much. It's so trollsy. Then for the spells, 1 D-Fissure, because I like D-Fissure. Gets over Dark World, gets over Mermails, gets over a lot. It gets over Madolches. It's a good card. It's a good card. 1 Mind Control. When you're facing against another rank 4 spam deck, it's a nice thing to have. And the 1 Dark Hole for any spammy deck that you may face up against, because it's good to have an instant out to those, if you know what I mean. Rounds it up for the spells and the monsters. onto the traps. This is what I'd change up. There are a couple things in here that I don't necessarily like, but they do their job. One thing I wouldn't cut, though, is double DNA surgery. This card is so great. This card gets over Boojins. This card gets over Fire Fists. This card, it's just gets over Prophecy. It's just a great card. I love this card, and I keep knocking the stand around, don't I? Anyway, sorry about that. This card, I just love it. This card in tandem with Mind Control, things get crazy. This is such a good card. Two things that I might change, but at the same time I really, really love, are 2 copies of Overworked. We got these cards are just, I like them a lot. They're great against the obvious Boojins, the obvious Fire Fists. They're amazing against Madolches. They're great against, what's its name, Dark Worlds. I like this card, but at the same time, there are a lot of situations in which you will never use this card. I'd probably side these, take these out, take one of these out, and one of the cards I'm going to show you coming up here for 2 copies of Debunk, but unfortunately, Debunks are hard to come by these days, so I do not have any Debunks. But they do their job. They do a good job. Next up, 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors. Stops Boojins, stops artifacts, because I hate artifacts so much. Stops. No, that's my dog barking. Anyway. Stops Boojins, stops artifacts, stops Light Sworns, sort of stops Noble Knights, but it stops their Xyz place anyways. I like this card. Sorry about that, guys. My dog keeps barking off in the background. It's no fun, is it? Then we have 2 Mind Crush, just because searching out things and then them having to throw it in the graveyard immediately it's pretty funny. 1 Mind Drain. I would side this and I would take this and then Overworked out for Debunks. This card, you shouldn't run this card under any circumstances. Debunk is so much better. But, like I said, I don't have any Debunks, so this works against Mermails. And then we have the one obvious Soul Drain to kill any artifacts, any fusions, anything like that. It's just, you need the Soul Drain. The Soul Drain is good. The Soul Drain is good. And that will about round it off for my very first deck profile. Again, you should really, really go check out Drac Nation's channel. He is one of the main guys who helped me really get my YouTube channel going. He's a great guy. He plays great games. He's just a good guy. And go check out Jamie the Kid 00 for very, very good Yu-Gi-Oh advice. He's really good. I really respect a lot of the videos he makes. Then, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what other deck profiles you would like to come up. I will put links in the description of the channels that I mentioned. And I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you. Bye-bye.